Hello, this is Caleb with Garvin Sewer Service. I am currently at 3070 18th Street. So two things to mention before we get really started is that the first thing that we got here, they wanted a camera and clean the line. I didn't pop the risers, the clean outs, and so first thing I did was go inside because they told me there was a leak from the main level to the basement above a bathroom. It seems that they believe it was around when the tub was running. So I initially kind of talked to them about, what it may be, regards of P-trap, things of that nature. But then we came outside to go ahead and just camera and snake the line as they wanted to in the first place. And that's when we found out that their main level was backed up. At that point, I discovered the sewage ejection pump. It had not occurred to me that was going on. So the leak inside, I'm going to zero out my distance indicator on my camera. I'm going inside the house first. Now that I know that we were backed up from the main level, it's possible that it wasn't the tub. It's possible that it was a toilet. Maybe the wax ring is old. Sometimes when there's back pressure, you'll leak around the wax ring. I've seen that quite a few times in my days as a drain cleaner. Or it could, if the leak persists after the line's cleared and the wax ring's replaced, maybe there is something leaking in regards to pipes. But it looks like everything up there is PVC, so I don't think it's that nature. So we'll see how far we can push the camera up into the house. And it's all ABS, and it all looks good. Before I leave, I'm going to go ahead and just... I used big knives for the roots. That was the initial block because the block was out towards the street. I used bigger blades. So I'm going to snake it one more time after this video to get kind of that just residue on the bottom. So whenever you see this video, just know it got ran one more time inside with smaller blades because it has to reduce. So I'm only 19 feet in. Okay, I'll be able to keep traveling. Yeah. Okay, so we're now wiring into a 2-inch line. I'm not sure where that's at, but I'm not going to be able to go farther than from here. So the 29 feet of ABS inside the house, I need to flush it out one more time before we leave, which I will, but the ABS looks good. I'm seeing no indication of anything leaking or bad cracks, anything of that nature on the inbound route. So now we'll focus at the real issue at hand, which was the roots. That was what caused the block today. We will come out of this, clean out, and then we'll go into the other one right next to me. And their distance indicator is pretty accurate. So right here we have an ABS to clay transition at 3 feet. This is kind of underneath the bench that I'm setting on it currently. So right here, I do want to mention now that I'm looking at it, that one looks like a coupling of some sort. It's not like earth. However, right here at this transition, we do have a minor to moderate offset. Just to keep in mind, we do have root intrusions throughout the clay, and the clay, anywhere there's an offset, which is kind of some separation of the clay drains, the roots will go much quicker. So definitely already recommend, cleaning the line once a year. And so we have some root intrusion right here. I went in with not one but 2 4-inch blades. My last run, I ran the line 5 times total to try to get all the roots because it was a lot. It was a fight. I used 2 4-inch blades for about 2.5 hours. So there's still some roots there. It's hard to get some of the ones on the top sometimes, but that fitting looks to be in decent shape minus the root intrusion. Here's another offset. So that first offset, I did mark at 5 feet 3 inches, and I marked it with a flag and some paint. And I also did the second offset, which I just mentioned, as well as this one right here. So the depth is between 5 feet and 6 feet. That's where the offsets are. Anytime you have offsets, it's really difficult to get the roots because the circumference of the drain is not perfectly circular. I did knock out a lot, though. So what we're doing is we're now pointing straight to the street after this 45-degree turn. So we kind of have a, it's kind of a Z pattern drain in the yard. And so I marked this. This is the start of our belly. And I do want to mention that it's going to be hard to see, one, but it appears that we go to ABS drain. I've cameraed this a couple times now, and it does look black like ABS. That's what I want to record it as. And it is underwater, and it kind of goes from halfway to fairly full, and then back to halfway. I do want to mention I've found there's a quarter on the bottom. I've tried snaking that out. I can't get it. And it looks like there's even some, I don't know, wedged in there on the left side. That kind of threw me for a loop. That may be the beginning of some issues. I've never seen that, or it's just somehow just got deposited there in just the right way. So, belly is going to end close to the sidewalk in just a minute. I think it's recorded 12 feet. Yeah, there's some more change, and those hard pieces right there are going to be very difficult, especially that one that's wedged, because here's another offset. That offset's actually what's causing the belly. Because as soon as I hop over that, I will come back. It's a semi-good drain. Trying to clean the head of the camera off so it's better to see. So yeah, from here on out, there are minor bumps in the road, but I won't call them offsets. They are root intrusions. My blades do go through this section relatively easy, so it's still cleanable and maintainable. This is underneath the street, so if there was ever work done, this will be the part where it gets really time-consuming and expensive. And so there were a lot of roots in these spots, but I was able to knock them out fairly well for the most part. And that was one of the main problematic areas right there. This is the city connection at 53 feet. If there's ever spots that should be probably fixed, it's the belly and the few offsets before the belly. I will record this all in the information on the account as well as the notes. I will see if they want an estimate drawn up just to see what it's going to cost. But I will record this in case they ever do want some issues resolved. So the tree roots, though, if no repair is done, definitely want to clean those out yearly, just because they're going to be accelerated growth because of the separation. If there's any other questions, give Garvin Sewer Service a call if the notes do not satisfy your needs. And thank you for your time.